Welcome to Saxon Math Course 2, Lesson 10. Today we'll be looking at writing division answers as mixed numbers and improper fractions. Your objectives for your lesson today: after this lesson you should be able to write division answers as mixed numbers, identify improper fractions, write an improper fraction as a whole number or mixed number, and write a mixed number as an improper fraction. Some review from Lesson 9. Remember, we talked about adding and subtracting fractions with common denominators. You're going to leave the denominator the same, and you're going to add or subtract the numerators, only the top numbers. When we multiply fractions, we simply multiply straight across, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. And then when we add or subtract mixed numbers, we add or subtract the whole numbers separately from the fractions. And reciprocals, that's when you flip a fraction upside down, and if you have a whole number, the reciprocal of a whole number is a fraction with that whole number as the denominator and a 1 as the numerator. So for example, the reciprocal of 6 is 1/6. Now we're going to look at writing division answers as mixed numbers. So I'm going to write just a shorter division problem right here. Let's do 25. Okay, so 4 goes into 25. First we're going to put a 0 here. 4 goes into 25 6 times. 6 times 4 is 24. We subtract. Notice everything's the same as when we were doing long division before, but now that we've gotten to the point where I would write remainder 1, instead of writing remainder 1, my remainder is going to be the numerator of my fraction, and my divisor, the number in front, is going to be the denominator. So the answer to this would be 6 and 1/4 instead of 6 remainder 1. Let's do a little bit longer one. Let's do 70. We'll do 77. So 3 goes into 7 twice. We subtract. Now we've got 17. 3 goes into 17 5 times, which would be 15. Now I've gotten to the point where I would put my remainder, but I'm going to take my remainder and put it as my numerator, and my divisor is going to be my denominator. So it'd be 25 and 2/3 instead of 25 remainder 2. That's how you write division answers as mixed numbers. Now let's take a look at improper fractions. Improper fractions are any fractions where the numerator is equal to or larger than the denominator. So here are a few examples. 5/5, 13/7, and 3/2 are all improper fractions. Most of these all of these we can rewrite as a whole number or a mixed number instead of an improper fraction. So here's an example. We can do what we did. Let's do 13/7. So instead of leaving it as 13/7, we can make it into a division problem, because that's what a fraction really is the numerator divided by the denominator. So we're going to do 7 divided by 13, which is 1, and it would be remainder 6, but remember we learned to put the remainder over on the top and the divisor on the bottom. So 1 6/7 and 13/7 are the same number. The same is true of any fraction that the top and bottom, the numerator and the denominator, are equal. That one's always an easy one, because that's going to be a whole number. It's going to be 1. But you can also have, say, 15/3 as an improper fraction. But remember, think of it as a division problem. What's 15 divided by 3? as a whole number, that would be 5. So those are a little bit easier. If you have ones like 13/7 or 3/2, then it's just a division problem and you do what we did before and we write the answer as a mixed number instead of a remainder. Sometimes though we want to go back to improper fractions from mixed numbers. You would do that if you were going to multiply fractions that are mixed. You can't multiply mixed numbers as mixed numbers. You have to turn them into improper fractions in order to multiply them. So here's an example. If we have, let's do 4 1/5. So in order to turn a mixed number back into an improper fraction, we're going to multiply the whole number and the denominator. So multiplying the whole number and the denominator gives us 20. 4 times 5 is 20. And then we're going to add the numerator to that answer. So this one would be 21, and then we keep the same denominator we started with, fifths. 21/5. Show you another one. Say we had 3 6/7. So we're going to multiply our whole number in our denominator. 3 times 7 is 21, and then we're going to add 6. So 21 plus 6 would be 27, and we keep the same denominator, 7, 27/7. That's all for this lesson today. Make sure you work through your practice problems and put any questions you have on the discussion section so we can talk about them next time. Your next math assignment will be a test, and then we'll see you in lesson 11.